boys and girls, it's Miss Bissell. I am going over your topic 14 and 15 assessment. Now, there's a couple ways that you should be going over this with me if you're not in class today. You have your math work journal where you were to record your answers and any work that you needed to do. So you should definitely have that open. Another thing is just so if your parents want to see this test, this is obviously a paper copy of what you had on your Chromebook screens when you took the test in class. So let's start with number 1. The students at Springs Elementary School drew a map of their neighborhood. The star shows the location of their school. What is the ordered pair for their school? So we're looking for the ordered pair. What we have to remember is that when we write an ordered pair, the X value always comes before the Y. All right, we can remember it 2 ways. Alphabetically, X comes before Y, or you can remember that funny little saying is that we run on the X before we jump on the Y. So if we start at the origin and we go over and look at the X value, we see that the star is located at the 5 position. All right, and then if we jump up and we look at where the star is on the Y-axis, we see that it is at 6. So the location is 5, 6. The answer is C. All right. Number 2. Which coordinate may be plotted and connected to 6, 8 with a line segment to complete the letter T on the grid below? So we need a letter T on the grid. We need it connected to the 6, 8 position. So 6, 8 is right here. So it's going to start here. So what I know is the letter T is symmetrical. So if we have the line of symmetry down the middle, the left and the right side of the top of the T are going to be the same length. So I see that it's 1, 2 long. So I'm going to come over 2 units here and place it right here. All right. If I want to check, I see it looks like this. This is something that you could very easily have drawn in your math work journal. You have craft paper, so that would have been an easy draw. All right, looking at it, again, we're at the origin. So we're going to run on the X, and we notice that we're stopping at the 8 on the X axis. We're going to jump up to the Y, and we notice that we're on the 8 also on the Y axis. So in order to create the letter T, we need to put a point at 8, 8, B. All right, number 3, we're looking at the graph below, and we want to know what is the point that is outside of the triangle but inside of the square. So I think the best way to work this particular problem is to look at where each point is. So let's look at D6. So we have a letter on the x-axis for the values. So same as numbers, we go over to the D and we go up to the 6. And if we put a point here, let's check it. Is it outside of the triangle? Yes. Is it inside of the square? Yes. So I'm thinking it's probably D6, but I'm going to come back through and check the others. So B is at E5. So I'm going over to the E and up to the 5. And I already know that this can't be correct. It is not outside of the triangle. So it can't be B. So I can stamp that one out. All right, C, just checking. Going over to F and going up to 8, F to 8 puts this point right here. So F8 is inside the triangle. So I can go ahead and eliminate that one. All right. And D, G3. So if I go over to G and go up to 3, it is also inside of the triangle. So I don't even have to read any further. So the answer is D6. Point D6, this one right here, is outside of the triangle and inside of the square. All right, problem number 4. What letter is created by connecting points 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 1, and 5, 1 in the given order? All right, so this is one that you would have needed to draw in your math journal. All right, so you would have needed to draw a y-axis that goes up to 10 and an x-axis that goes out to 10. Once you did that, your journal paper gives you the actual coordinate grid already made. So we're going to go to 3, 4. So we start at the origin, we go over to 3, and we go up to 4. Okay, we're going to go 5, 4. So back to the origin, over 5, up 4. We're going to go over to 3, up to 1, and then we're going to go over to 5 and up to 1. All right, so what letter is connected or is created by connecting the points in the order given? So we started at 3, 4, so we need to go back and trace our steps, and we went to 5, 4. Then we went to 3, 1. Then we went to 5, 1. So if we aren't careful, we could actually come up with the wrong answer here. So the correct answer is Z. D is the answer choice. And the reason that that one is correct is because we had to connect the points in the order given. So once we plotted the points, then we went back and connected them in the order given. If not, we could have had an N, we could have had a U, and we could have had a C. So we have to be very careful that we follow those directions. All right, problem number 5. Rhonda wants to tell her brother how to find 3, 5 on a grid. So what directions would be correct from 0, 0? So starting at the origin, and all we have to remember is that we travel on the X, then on the Y. So that means that on the X value, she needs to go over to the 3 and up to the 5. Or another way of saying that is she needs to go right 3, and up 5. So let's take a look at it. We do not go right 5. 5 is not the X value. We go right to the 3, so it can't be A. So B, we go right to the 3 and up to the 5. Actually, that is it, because we're going over on the X value to the 3 and up on the 5. All right, let's see what's wrong with C. C tells us to go up to the 3 and left to the 5. Well, first of all, we never travel on the Y axis first. And second of all, we aren't studying quadrant 2. We've talked about it, but we're not studying the points in quadrant 2, so that's not correct. And the same thing is wrong with D. Okay, so your correct answer is B. All right, problem number 6. Which point is located inside triangle IHJ? Well, we've got 4 points. We need to plot them, and we need to find which one is inside the triangle. Now remember, if it is on one of the lines where the triangle's borders are, that is not inside or outside. So that would not work. So let's look at where 7, 6 is. We start at the origin. We go over on the x-axis to 7. We go up then to the 6. And this one cannot be our answer because 0.76 is outside of the triangle. All right, let's try 6, 4. Back to the origin, over 6, up 4. This is right inside that triangle, so I'm thinking that's it. But I always like to just cover my bases and check the rest of the answers. It's real quick. C has us starting at the origin and going over 5 and up 4. And this is one I just talked about. It's actually on the border of one of the triangle line segments. So it can't be that one. It's not inside. And the last one, 4, 3. So back to the origin, over 4, up 3. And that point is definitely outside of the triangle. So the point located inside triangle IHJ is 0.64. This one right here. All right. Problem number 7. Look at the grid below. Who is at 6, 7? So we need to plot and see who's there. So we start at the origin. We go over 6 on the x-axis. We jump up 7 on the y. And we see that Caitlin is at 0.67. So your answer choice is C. All right, boys and girls, we're moving right along. Hopefully you are pausing the video as needed if you need to look at what you did wrong. All right, number 8, a square has vertices at 2, 4, 2, 6, and 4, 6. What are the coordinates of the fourth vertex? Now, I probably would sketch this out on the graph paper in my math work journal, starting with the origin and having the y and the x-axis going to 10. You've already got the grid there. And I would plot them to see. I know that it is a square. So if I drew this out, sketched it out, and went to 2, 2, that would be one corner. I'm sorry, my bad. I need to plot these points. If I go over to 2, 4, then I go over to 2, 6, and then I go over to 4, 6. So what I know about a square is that it has 4 right angles and the side lengths are equal. So I have 2 units on this side, 2 units on this side. So I'm going to come down 2 units and over 2 units, and that point needs to be right there. So that point is at going over 4 on the x-axis and up to 4 on the y. So that point is located at 4, 4. So I don't even need to use the answer bank except to confirm that my answer is there. All right. Some of you may have looked at the coordinates and known that if it was a square, then the 2 x values would be at the 2's, right? Or, and the y values would be at the 4, right? So you might have looked at it and figured that out and known that it was, I'm sorry, I don't even know. Don't even look at that. I shouldn't have even said that. So we're going to just scratch that. I'm not going to edit my whole video just because I was starting to go a different way. There is a way to look at it, but I didn't teach you that in class. All right, so let's just skip that and go on to 9. A pattern of ordered pairs is shown. All right, this word pattern tells me that I need to make a what? Yes, a T-chart. So X and Y value. All right, anytime I see pattern, I know I'm going to have a T-chart. Now, it wants to talk about if the pattern continues, what is the 8th ordered pair? So this T-chart is actually going to have a place for me to put my first ordered pair, my second, my third, my fourth, my fifth, my 6th ordered pair, 7th, and 8th. And right here's where my answer is going to be. So you've got this drawn hopefully in your math work journal, and you're just going to plot these points. You're going to fill them in. So X value is 0, Y value is 1 for the first ordered pair. The second ordered pair, 2, 4. X is at 2, Y is 4. The third is 4, 7. The fourth is 6, 10. Now, what I need to do is look at the X value and figure out what's the rule. What's happening each time. So we go from 0 to 2 to 4 to 6. So I see that the X value is increasing by 2 each time. So you should have that recorded. Then I'm looking at the Y. So the Y value goes from 1 to 4 to 7 to 10. So it is increasing by 3 each time. So we're going to continue the pattern, and we're going to see where the 8th pattern or the 8th term in the pattern is. So here we go. I've got 6, so adding 2, I have 8. Adding 2, I have 10. Adding 2, I have 12. Adding 2, I have 14 as the X value. All right, let's work with the Y. I'm adding 3, so 13. 3 more would be 16. 3 more would be 19. And 3 more would be 22. So I'm looking for the 8th ordered pair in the pattern, or the 8th term, is going to be located at 1422, which is answer C. Okay. All right. Number 10. Zach and Carter collect rocks. The table shows how many rocks they have at the end of the day. They keep collecting rocks at the same rate. How many will they have at the end of day 5? So probably what I'm going to do is this is a pattern. I know that the rate is happening the same. So we have 0 days, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and we're asked on day 5. So 4th day, 5th day. So my information is going to be here. This is Zach. This is Carter. Okay, so when you sketch this in your math journal, just real quick. Now, let's put the information in. Zach's goes from 0 to 2 to 4 to 6. Carter goes from 0 to 3 to 6 to 9. So I have the first 3 days data for Zach and Carter. So again, it's a pattern. And to see what's happening on the 5th day, they collect at the same rate. So I'm looking for what's happening. What's the rule? So let's focus on Zach. 0, 2, 4, 6. Hopefully you saw that increased by 2 rocks each day. So 8 would be next, and then 10. All right. Then Carter, 0, 3, 6, 9. Again, he's increasing by 3, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So now I see on the 5th day, Zach has 10, Carter has 15. So the question was on day 5, how many do they have all together? I went back and looked at the question because there is no ordered pair in the answer bank. So simply, I just need to add 10 and 15. And I get 25. Oops, right there's my work. I did 25 as the combined total. So the answer is C. Okay. Number 11. The rule for the coordinate pairs on the grid is +2 + 1. That means on the x-axis, we're adding 2 each time, and on the y-axis, we're adding 1 each time. So on what coordinate pair does the next point belong? So again, we're getting a rule. So rules and patterns are synonymous. That's where we flip over and use those T-charts. So we have our X value and our Y. The X rule is add 2. The Y rule is add 1. So I'm going to go ahead and plot what I have already on the chart. So the first ordered pair is located at 4, 2. All right. The second ordered pair is located at 6, 3. All right. And if I look, I want to know what the next point is. So it's going to be next on my chart. If I follow the rule, 6 + 2 would give me 8, and 3 + 1 would give me 4. And if I want to check it, I know that it's going to create a straight line. So if I plot my answer, 8, 4, look at what happens. We go over 2, up 1, over 2, up 1, and it creates that straight line. So I have a visual on the coordinate grid to confirm that that actually is the next point in the pattern. I didn't have to go that far, but I could just to check myself. 8, 4 is the next point. All right, number 12. Which expression describes how each value of y is related to the value of x? So how is y related to x? So I see that y is larger than x. 7's more than 1, 9 is more than 2, 11 is more than 3, and 13 is more than 4. So I know that y is greater than x. So I'm going to kind of look at the answer bank and see which of these works. So it wants to know how y is related to x. So is y 1 more than 3 times x? Well, 3 times x, 3 times 1 would be 3, plus 1 more would be 4. So no, it can't be A. All right, is y 2 more than 5 times x? Well, let's look. 5 times x, 2 times 5 would be 10, since x is 2, and 1 more would make it 11. So it can't be B. And I'm checking the first term in the table, all right? Now, when I find a rule that works, I'm going to put it through the test and make sure it works for the last term in the table too. All right, but I haven't even had to do that yet because none of the rules A or B even work for the first term. All right, C tells me, is y 5 more than 2 times x? Well, 2 times x would be 2, all right, plus 5 more. All right, so that would be 7. So let me try it on the next term. I mean, I could try it on any term, but I'm going to try it on the last term. So 5 times x, so 5 times 4 would be 20, plus, oh, wait a minute, 5 more than 2 times x. So 5 more, sorry, I got this one backwards. 5 more than 2 times x. So 2 times 4 would be 8, plus 5 more would be 13. So yes, it did work on both of them. All right. And I've kind of lost my train of thought because I thought, oh my goodness, for B, I actually applied it to the second term. It didn't work on the second term. It's not going to work on the first term. 2 times or 2 more than 5 times x. So go back to that. Some of you, I think, did pick B, but let me show you why that was wrong. And Miss Purcell should have put it through the first term to show you. 5 times x is 5, and 2 more is 7. But it has to work on every term, and we already showed it didn't work on the second term. And if I try it even on the last term, 2 more than 5 times x. 5 times x is 20, and 2 more is 22. So no, it's not going to work. All right. C was a little bit different because it worked on both of those terms. And if it worked on the first term and the last term, it's going to work on everything in the middle. All right. 1 less than 5 times 4. 5 times x. So x is 1, 5 times x is 5, and 1 less would be 4. So D doesn't even work on the first term. So it has to be C. All right. Sorry, my explanation got a little spotty there because I lost my train of thought. See, it happens to all of us. All right, let's look at number 13. All right, Silas and Julian went fishing. For every 5 fish Julian caught, Silas caught 2. If Julian caught 25 fish, how many did Silas catch? So what I'm seeing here is there's some kind of a pattern going on. So I'm going to do a chart. So I'm going to have Silas and Julian. So Julian and Silas. For every 5 fish Julian caught, Silas caught 2. All right. So when Julian catches his next set of 5 would be 10, Silas would have 4. When Julian catches 5 more, Silas would have 6, right? So when Julian catches 20, Silas would have 8. And when Julian catches 25, Silas would have 10. So Silas is catching 2 fish for every 5. So this is what I was doing. I was following the rule of for every 5, Julian increases by 5, Silas increases by 2. All right, so here it is. When Julian catches 25, Silas has 10. Okay. Number 14, the following table was given to some math students. What is the relationship of column X to column Y? So this reminds me a lot of what we were just doing on number 12. So we're looking at the relationship of X to Y. So I see that Y is greater than X. So I'm just going to go through and see which of these makes sense. Now, I always apply it to the first term, and if it works for the first, I can't just pick that as my answer. We saw that in number 12. I have to apply it to the last term. And if it works for the first and the last term, it's going to work for everything in between. So, am I dividing column X by 2 to get Y? Well, if I divided 44 by 2, I get 22. If I divide 50 by 2, I get 25. Oh, that might be it. All right, let's check this one. Do I multiply column X by 2? Well, if I multiplied X here, 44 by 2, I get 88. So no, that's not even right with the first term. All right, now some people pick C. C doesn't work for all terms, even though it works for the first term. I can subtract 22 from 44 and get 22. But if I subtract 22 from 50, I don't get 25, do I? All right, 50 minus 22 is 28. So no, it doesn't work for the last term, so it's not going to work for all the terms, so it can't be C. Subtract 44 from column X. Well, if I subtract 44 from 44, I get 0, and I don't have 0, so that doesn't even work for the first term. So the answer is A. I am dividing column X by 2. So in essence, all these values in Y are half the value of their corresponding term in X. All right, the last question, number 15. Each time Pam collects 2 new buttons, Sam collects 3. If Pam has 10 buttons, how many buttons does Sam have? So this is very similar to our Julian and Silas fishing problem. All right, we've got a pattern going on. All right, so let's set it up with Pam and Sam. All right, so when Pam collects 2, Sam collects 3. So Pam is collecting by 2, increasing by 2, Sam by 3. So when she has 2, he has 3. When she has 4, he has 6. When she has 6, he has 9. When Pam has 8, he has 12. And when Pam has 10, make sure I go up by 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, he has 15. So make sure we're going up by 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So here's where our answer is. So when Pam has 10, Sam has 15. So my answer is D. All right. So there it is, boys and girls. These are our answers and solutions for how we solve the 15 problems on our unit test for topics 14 and 15. So we were working on the coordinate plane, and we were analyzing patterns and looking at that information in quadrant 1 of the Cartesian coordinate plane. All right, I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.